Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Yes, I was muted, so I just opened the mic, Yolanda. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Everyone, I think everyone knows me now. My name is Pumelele Hadebe, and I'm pleased to be your facilitator today at Zululand Training Institute. So this is a project management course. So as a SHEC specialist or the facilitator, my goal isn't just to help you pass this course, but to ensure you that you develop the deeper understanding of how to maintain a safe, healthy, and high quality environment in any workplace. So we have a lot of things to ground cover, and I'm looking forward to the insight of each of you will bring in our discussion, right? So let's make on safety a primary habit rather than just a policy. Now, before we start with our course, I know that a lot of you are struggling with the logging in part and finding your course or trying to navigate through your course. So I'm here to assist you with that as well, right? So I'm going to show you how to navigate through your LMS using your phone or using the laptop as well. So it's very easy. So once you click on the first, you need to click on the link, right? So you are going to, and then you click to this link again. See this link? So we click there, and then this link is taking us straight to logging in to Zululand Training Institute, right? So you put here your username and then you put your password. So already my username and password is saved on Google, so it's easy to just log in. I don't need to type it again. And then you log in. So after clicking the login, this is your landing page, right? So this is your landing page. This is home. This is the home page. So it's going to show this course to every one of you, this course like this, construction management course. And then you click on the course again. So once you click on the course, then it's the general, it's the announcements, the construction management. This is our module one, right? So when you click on module one, so this is our module one, it's like this. Then you scroll down to look at the announcements, and then you will find your study guide there online. Right, so this is how your course should look like. So we read those notes, guys. Make sure that we read those notes. And then we have the other links that actually takes us straight to other sites for more information, right? So you click there for more information on those other links. And then this is module one, and then the assignment. So this is your assignment. The assignment is in a form of a quiz. So the time limit, you are given 2 hours with 3 attempts. And then the grading method is highest grade. The grade to pass, you must obtain 60 out of 100. And then we move to module two, guys. So this is, I'm explaining this once and I'm not going to explain it again. So same as module 2. So these are your notes for module 2, right? Planning and the contract. So when you click there, you come across this is your study guide again, right? So you can download the study guide. This is the manual. You read all of these things, guys. Make sure that you read all these things. So this is actually your study guide. So you can just click there and download. So when I'm downloading this, I'm saving this as a document. So now I have a PDF document saved on my phone in case you do not have a data and you'll need to study later, right? So this is it. This is your study guide. So this is where we find the study guide, right? So after finding your study guide, and then you go back. So you go back and then it's the assignment 2 now. So we move to the second assignment. So we move to this. Guys, I can see the messages and I am sharing the screen. I don't know why it is not showing. Okay, can you all see the screen now? Okay, guys. Okay, I'm just gonna start again. So you click on the link. You are going, okay guys, you are going to click on the link for Zululand. So after clicking on the link and putting your details, then they're gonna send the email like this. So once they've sent this email, and then you're gonna click on this new other link that they have sent. So it's gonna say welcome to construction management. If you have not done so already, you should edit your profile page so that we can learn more about you. And then you click here. So after clicking here on this, it's going to take you straight to something there is like this. So when it takes you to the landing page, so this is called a landing page. So your landing page is going to be like this. Now we have the general, but we must just go there, home. So when we get here, so now you are able to see your course, right? You are able to see the course construction management, right? So when we look at this construction management course, you click here. It's the only course that is going to appear, right? So you click on the course, and then on your landing page, it's the announcement. So you read these announcements. You can just click here, you read these announcements, you read the construction management. So this is the document, okay, guys. This is the document that I'm talking about. So you look at your document, you see, construction management document is South African practice, planning, tendering, pricing, execution, and leadership in construction. So 2026 edition, table of content. Then this is your document. So then you go there up here and download this. And then you download the document. See, construction management, South African practice. Then we are going to save it. So when we save it, we are saving it as the PDF. We are going to save it as the PDF. After saving it as the PDF, then you can go back and look at it whenever you have some time, right? Whenever you are home and you do not have a data, have a document stored on your device. We go back again to home, and then we said we have module one, and then we land on assignment one. So the assignment one, it says it has 3 attempts that are allowed. The time limit is 2 hours. The grading method is the highest grade, and the grade to pass is 60 out of 100. Right. So you answer all these questions on this quiz, on this assessment, on a form of a quiz, and then we move to module two. It's the compliance. And then when you click here, after this module 2 written in bold, we're gonna find another study guide. So this is where you find your study guides. You're gonna find the study guide, and then you make sure that you read it again. So this is your study guide again that you're gonna be using. It has 50 pages. And then after finding your study guide, you go back, and then you find assignment two. Still the assignment two, it's still the 3 attempts. The time hour is 1 hour. The grading method is still highest grade. The grade to pass is still 160 out of 100. And then we move to planning and contract management. And then there we are, it's still the same study guide. And then we move to module 3, OHS legal framework, and then you click, you find the study guide. So every after each module, you are going to find the assignment waiting for you, right? Until we get to additional notes. Yeah, right. Okay, until we get to module 11, we go to our final assessment. So when you, it's also the same, just that the attempts that are allowed are three. The time limit, you have 3 hours. Grading method, highest grade. Grade to pass, it's 30 out of 45, right? And then we have additional notes after this. We have so many additional notes that you can use to study for yourself. So this is how we navigate through our LMS. And then we have this, it's for messages. So whenever there is a message, we they will appear here, other communication. So far I do not have any private messages. And then on groups also, if ever we were created or we decided to engage with you on the groups, and then on the state messages also again, and then on your conduct. So this is just that. And move to the grades, right? So this is where you find your results again when you want to see how far you've done your assignments. So there is from assignment 1, assessment, and the total course. So when you are receiving your statement, or when you are given an option to download your statement, you should not be you should not be surprised, because we are going to extract it as it is, or on your LMS. So if you failed, then you're gonna receive your statement with failed, and if you passed, then you're gonna receive your statement with passed. So that is how we navigate. And then after home, it's the dashboard. So the dashboard, it's we have no activities. So when the assignment is opening and closing, you're gonna get also the notification on the dashboard, because we have the calendar here on our dashboard. So this calendar, it also serves as the notification that when are the assignments opening, when are they closing. So fortunately, they are still opened, so you won't be getting any notifications anytime soon. And then my courses, when you go to the last one, my courses, then this is your course, construction management. So it's easy to find your course. You try to find your course this way. So this is your course, or on from the beginning. So it's very easy on finding the course. I hope everyone will not be having a problem in finding course again. Right. Now we need to go back, and we need to go back to our topic of today for the construction management. So today our topic is the health, environmental, and it's the health, safety, and environmental, which sometimes is abbreviated as HSE, right? So I hope everyone was able to see. May open the subtitles on your side so that you hear whatever I am saying. because some of us we prefer to read, right? I can see the messages. If you have a question, then you can send the message. Then I'll make sure that I reply while we are still on the lessons. So we're going to start with the introduction to health, safety, and the environmental management. So health, safety, and environmental management is an essential part of modern workplace operation. It focuses on protecting the health and safety of the employees while we are also ensuring that the business's activities do not negatively impact the environment. In many industries, such as the construction, the manufacturing, the mining, the healthcare, and the transportation, the workers are exposed to various hazards that could lead to injuries, to illnesses, and environmental damage if they are not properly managed. The health, safety, and environmental management, therefore, it aims to identify the potential hazards, assesses the risk, and implement the effective measures to prevent the accidents and protect both people and the environment. And then health management in the workplace, it involves the promoting the physical and mental well-being of employees. So the employees or the employers, they have the responsibilities to ensure that working conditions do not cause harm to workers' health. So this includes providing the proper ventilation, the clean drinking water, the adequate sanitation, safe equipment, and appropriate training for employees. The health management also focuses on preventing the occupational diseases that may arise from exposure to chemicals, to dust, noise, and radiation, or other harmful substances. So, by maintaining a healthy working conditions, the organization can reduce the absenteeism, increase the productivity, and improve the employee morale. The safety management, it focuses on preventing the workplace accidents, the injuries, identifying the hazards, conducting the risk assessment, and implementing the safety procedures and ensuring that the workers they follow the safe working practices. The safety management also includes providing the PPE, conducting safety training, and establishing the emergency procedures for incidents such as fires, chemical spills, or equipment failures. A strong safety culture encourages the employees to report unsafe conditions and actively participate in maintaining a safe workplace. And environmental management is another important component of HSE. It focuses on minimizing the negative impact that the organization's activities may have on the environment. So, this also includes managing the waste properly, reducing the pollution, conserving the natural resources, and ensuring that the hazardous materials are handled and disposed safely. The organizations are increasingly expected to operate in environmental responsibilities ways to protect the ecosystems, communities, and future generations. Any environmental management also helps the businesses comply with the environmental laws and regulations. So in South Africa, the workplace health and safety are guided by the legislations such as the Occupational Health and Safety Act 85 of 1993, which requires the employers to provide and maintain a working environment that is safe and without risk to the health of employees. So this law it places the responsibility on both employers and employees to follow the safety procedures, identify the hazard, and take reasonable care to prevent the accident or the injuries in the workplace. So the effective health, safety, and environmental management, it requires the cooperation from everyone in the organization. From the management, it must provide the leadership, the resources, and the policies that support safety and environmental protection, while the employees must follow the procedures and participate in safety programs. The regular training, monitoring, inspection, and continuous improvement are important elements of successful HSE management system. So we were basically talking about the HSE. Now we have to talk about the HSE more in a context of construction management, right? So we are going to look at the specific topic for in this specific topic of health, safety, and in environmental management in construction management, right? So it is going to be in construction management. So now we go back to our notes, right? Okay, so guys, we are doing this module 3 on OHS legal framework. So this is the module that we are actually doing here. So unfortunately, they did not share. The study guide is not available as yet for all of us, but I do have it. I don't know how I'm going to share this. Now, we are just going to look at the specific topic in this, which is so we are going to look at a specific topic. So our specific topic on this is Hira. So I am going to project my screen soon. Okay, so we are going to look at the hierarchy, guys, for this. I think everyone is familiar with the HIRA. I think everyone is familiar with the HIRA hazard, which is hazard identification and the risk assessment. So, okay, guys, I don't know. So this is our topic here, guys. The construction, health, safety, and environment, right? So here it says the construction is categorized as a high-risk industry in South Africa. The primary legal framework is the Occupational Health and Safety Act 85 of 1993 and the Construction Regulations 2014. These regulations, they moved the industry from a compliance-only mindset to risk management approach where the client is held ultimately accountable for the safety of the project. And then we have the duties of the stakeholders, the client, the principals, the contractors. The client must prepare a baseline risk assessment and site-specific health and safety. And they must appoint a competent principal contractor and ensure that they have the budget for safety. Okay, so this the client. So when they are speaking of the hierarchies, when they are speaking of the risk assessment, so the risk assessment, it comes from the hazard identification and risk assessment. So what is the HIRAM? What is the hazard identification and the risk assessment? The hazard identification and risk assessment, they are the fundamental components of occupational health and safety management in any workplace. So these processes, they play a crucial role in protecting the employees, the visitors, and the general public from the potential harm. They may rise from the workplace activities. Every work environment, regardless of the industry, contain the certain hazard that can lead to accidents, to injuries, to illnesses, or even fatalities if they are not properly identified and managed. So there is HIRA. So therefore, by conducting the baseline risk assessment, the organization, they must adopt the effective strategies to recognize the hazard and assesses the level of the risk that is associated with them in order to implement the appropriate control measures in the workplace. So all in all, when they speak of the HIRA, it's a systematic process of recognizing and identifying the potential sources of harm within the workplace. So we say a hazard is anything with the potential to cause harm, while while the hazard can exist in many forms, including we have the physical, the chemical, the biological, economic, and psychological hazards. For example, the slippery floors, the exposed electrical wiring, the hazardous chemicals, the heavy machine, the excessive noise, poor workstation design. There are so many that we can count. And then we come to the risk assessment, right? So here they spoke of the baseline risk assessment on this. So the risk assessment, when they speak of the risk assessment, they are speaking of something that involves evaluating the likelihood that a hazard will cause the harm and determining the severity of the consequences if an incident occurs. So this process, it allows the employers and safety professionals to prioritize the hazards and determine which risk they require the immediate attention. The risk assessment, it also typically involves analyzing the several factors such as the probability of an incident occurring, the number of people that are exposed to the hazard, and the potential severity of the damage or the injuries that might occur, and the effective of the control measures. So when you speak of the control measures, we have five control measures on safety. We have the elimination. So we try to baseline risk assessment. So whenever we have placed the machinery or the equipment in the workplace, so or wherever there was a hazard, so that specific risk assessment, it's for that specific job. Now we look at the principal contractor. So the principal contractor must develop a project specific health and safety plan, appoint key safety personnel, for example, a construction manager and safety officer, and ensure all the subcontractors are compliant. The contractor must follow the health and safety plan and report all the near misses and the incidents immediately. Now, this is important, the health and safety file. The health and safety file. So, the health and safety file is a dynamic record of compliance that must be maintained on site and headed to the client at the end of the project. So, this is the steps on how to do your health and safety file. For administrative purposes, we need to have a letter of good standing, which is COIDA, tax clearance, CIDP registration. For legal appointments, we need the signed letters for the construction manager. So there is according to regulations 8.1, the safety officer according to regulations 8.5. We need the first aider and the firefighter. And then the risk management, the baseline, which is hazard identification and risk assessment, the issue-based high risk, and the safe work procedures for high-risk tasks like deep excavation or the roof work. So I hope you guys can see is important in our daily lives. The we have finished, so it is important that we continuously do our hire. So the process of this hazard identification and risk assessment is an ongoing and a dynamic integrated into everyday workplace operation. It is not only a one-time activity, but a continuous process that requires the regular monitoring, the evaluation, and the improvement as the workplace conditions, the equipment, the procedures, they change, new hazard may arise or emerge. So making it necessary to review and update the risk assessment regularly. So this conducting this or these proactive measures, it helps to the safety measures, they remain effective and relevant to current work environment. In some other countries, guys, the workplace safety regulations, they require the employers to conduct the hazard identification and risk assessment as part of their legal responsibility to protect the employees. But in South Africa, for example, governed by the Occupational Health and Safety Act 85 of 1993. So this act it requires the employers to provide and maintain a working environment that is safe and without a risk to the health of employees. So this also include being able to identify those hazards, assessing the risk or the likelihood, uh, applying or implementing the appropriate control measures to reduce or to eliminate those risks that we have identified. Right. So, being in compliant with such legislation, it actually helps us to ensure that the organizations they maintain the high safety standards and prevent the workplace incidents. Training of the site inductions, the toolbox talk, the competency certificate for operators. So the training is mandatory. So the training is very important. Medical, we need the valid medical certificate of fitness for all the site personnel issued by an occupational practitioner or the doctor. So this is the hazard identification and the risk assessment, which is HIRA, right? So this HIRA, it's a process of identifying what could go wrong and putting controls in the workplace to prevent it. So we've been made the examples that the activity, the hazard, the risk, and their control measures. So when they speak of the control measures, it's also sometimes refer them as the hierarchy of controls, right? So here the activity is trenching. So when you are trenching, what is the hazard? It's site collapse. The risk, is it high or is it a low? So it's high risk. The control measures that were used, shoring, buttering the sites, 1 meter setback for spoil. And then another activity is roofing. So what could go wrong? What could be the hazard? It falls from working at height. And then the risk is also high. And then what are the control measures? The guardrails, the safety harness, the fall arrest system, the manual handling. What could be the hazard? Leg strain. The risk, it's a medium risk. What can we do about the control measures? Mechanical aid, training, and weight limit. And then safe work procedures, for example, when you are working with scaffold, ensure that a competent person, the scaffold inspector, has tagged the scaffold with a green tag. You wear a full body harness and hook at all times when above 2 meters. Ensure the base plates and the sole bolts are level and stable. Do not exceed the safe working loads of the platforms. Environmental compliance. Contractors must mitigate the environmental degradation through the waste management, segregation rubble, steel or timber of recycling, disposing the hazardous waste at licensed sites. So we know how does this waste management go. We use those terms reuse, reduce, and recycle. So we all know that. And then water control, using the slit traps and bonded areas for fuel storages to prevent stormwater contamination. Dust control, regular wetting of hot roads during the earthworks. And then the key concept, the question is, what is the difference between the baseline risk assessment and an issue baseline risk assessment? Remember, we said we conduct the baseline risk assessment when at the beginning of the business, and then the baseline risk assessment when there is a new machinery that is bought in the workplace. So the correct answer for this would be the baseline risk assessment is the first and the most comprehensive assessment that is carried out in a workplace or the project. It is conducted to identify all the potential hazard and risk within the work environment, while the issue baseline is conducted when a specific problem, the hazard or change or the incident occurs in the workplace. It focuses on that particular issue rather than the whole workplace, while the baseline, it focuses on the whole workplace issues. So I hope we do understand the examples of that question. You can also answer it whenever we are asked what is the difference between the baseline. So we have another question: who is legally responsible for health and safety officer? Who is legally responsible for appointing the health and safety officer? Right? So who wants to try and answer that? You can just write the you can just write the you can just write your answer there for this question. Okay, it's not the project manager, it's the principal instructor who is responsible for appointing the locus and the safety officer. Now let me check the questions. Okay, someone said we can engage or participate, we're just listening. No, you can't. It's only subscribers who can engage. Then Wendy did not hear the five control measures. There was a post. Okay, so the five control measures would be, I'm also just gonna write the other answers because it seems like we have the issue with our network. So our five control measures will be elimination. So our five control measures would be elimination, but they are there on your study guide. It's elimination, substituting, engineering controls, admin controls, and PPE. Okay, I don't know why I went mute again on your side, Balisa, but no one has complained on me went mute. When is the exam? Guys, everything is opened. So whenever you feel like you want to write again, so you can. So when you feel like you need to write your assignment, you can write your assignment. We said the person who is responsible for hiring the safety officer is the principal contractor. So the person who is responsible for this, it's the principal contractor. I don't know, guys. I think our I think we're experiencing so much number of students on this platform. That's why the system is running low also. Or should we pay for our YouTube? Okay, I think I've covered all the questions that you did ask. Guys, the study guide is there on your modules. I did show you where to find the study guide and where to download the study guide. Guys, someone is saying they don't have a study material, but I just show you where to find the study material. Everyone do have study material. So once again, I'm going to show you how to navigate through your LMS for the last time, right? So for the last time, this is how you navigate on your LMS. So after using that link from Zululand, the one that is on the group, then it's gonna land you to this page on your email. They said we send something on your email, verify your account. So after, when you click on your emails, it's that email, and then this is the landing page, right? So you edit whatever that you need to edit, and then this these are your notes, guys. Are your notes. So no one can say they do not have a study guide. No one can say they do not have their study guide with them. These are the study guides. You see, this is a PDF, and I open it through our notes. Then you can download the study guide. You can download the study guide and save it on your device. So it's very easy. I don't know those who are saying they don't have their notes, but we just download it easy like that. Right? So I hope, so I think I guys, when we do send the messages about the course and everything, if you're still going to ask me the same things, the same questions that we did, it doesn't make sense. So I'm just gonna ignore those questions because I'm just gonna ignore those questions because they are there on the group. You are just lazy to read. So thank you so much for joining the lesson today, even though we're having the technical issue. But however, we will try and look at other ways on how to conduct our lessons, which one is going to be effective since we are also having issues with YouTube as well. So yeah, thank you so much for joining the class. We will see you. I will see you on Thursday. Tomorrow will be the facilitator Nosipo with the live lesson.